Okay, so I've been asked to create a quick tutorial or a quick video on nutrition, particularly how to read nutrition labels. So we're going to take a look at a couple of labels on two different products. But before I start, let's talk about what we're looking for, okay? Um, there are what we call macronutrients, and we derive our energy from those macronutrients, and they're essential. There are three macronutrients that we need to pay attention to. We have our carbohydrates, we have our fats, and we have our proteins, okay? And they're all important for different reasons. But for the sake of this short video, I'll just talk very briefly about them. So carbohydrates are the body's first, uh, I guess, line of energy defense, if you will. It's what the body turns to primarily for energy. Carbohydrates are broken down into something called glucose, which the brain needs in order to function. So carbs are not the enemy. We'll get into, what is the enemy of our health a little bit later. But for now, just know that carbs are the primary source of energy for the body. Then you have fats. That's where the body turns to next for energy. Fats are not only used for energy, they're also used to pad the internal organs. They also help with the absorption of certain vitamins. So fat is important, to our function as well. Fat is not the enemy. Again, it's how we use and what the types of fats we consume. And we can get into that a little bit later, perhaps in a second video. And then we have proteins. And proteins are what the body uses for the repair of muscle tissue, for cell repair as well. And proteins have so many functions throughout the body. There are transport proteins that bring various, substances through the body that we need. And protein can be used as a source of energy, but it's like the final, straw if the body needs to use it. All right. So those are your macronutrients. Now, where to find them on a label? Let's take this oatmeal. And as you can see here, you have your fats right here at the top. And you see the fats are broken into different categories. You have your carbohydrates. Again, carbohydrates are broken into different categories. And then you have proteins. You really want to be looking at the three of those, okay? So I'm going to show you this on another product. This was 1 Minute Oats. This was something that is very yummy, but has a very different nutritional profile. It's zebra popcorn, but you'll take and see that the nutrients are listed in pretty much similar fashion. You have your total fats here, and they are broken down. You have total carbohydrates. They are also broken down. And then you have your proteins. And we'll get into it a little bit deeper what the difference between these products are for you nutritionally. All right, but let's talk about those breakdowns, okay? So, as I said before, fats are not the enemy, but there are certain types of fats that are better for you than others. Here you see 4 types of fats listed. Who knew, right? That there are 4 different types of fats. You have total fat here. I'm just going to take a look at it. It's hard to see through the camera. 2.5 grams. 2.5 grams in total. And where are the sources of those fats? There's something called saturated fats, and those are really bad for the body. They are solid at room temperature. And so these are the types of fats that can clog your arteries and so forth and so on. So you don't want too many of the saturated fats. Trans fats, when a lot of processed foods, they add basically chemically hydrogen atoms, I'm sorry, to the fats, and it actually, becomes solid as well. Like the saturated fats, but those are used to improve the shelf life of certain foods. So, trans fats are not good for you either. The healthiest types of fats are the unsaturated fats. polyunsaturated, and monounsaturated fats. So you can see in this oatmeal, saturated fats, I believe, are 0. Trans fats are 0. But you do have some polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. So your takeaway should be unsaturated fats are good for me. There's monounsaturated, there's polyunsaturated fats. Those are the ones that I want in my diet more so than saturated fats. And I definitely want to stay away from trans fats. So oatmeal has a pretty good fat profile. I'm just going to take a look at it again. The 2.5 grams of fat in here come from the unsaturated fats. And that's what you want to look for. All right.